coming up on this episode of the Spiro podcast.
So my question to you is, do you know and are you confident in your customer journey? That's the big question today, is from the beginning to the end, do you know what your customers are experiencing? And are there any kinks in it that you could make better for them?
Welcome to the Spiro podcast, managing your real estate photography and videography business. With your hosts, Todd Kivimaki and Craig Magrum.
Hi, and welcome to the Spiro podcast, managing your real estate photography and videography business. Spiro is a software platform designed to really help you manage and grow and scale your real estate media business. I'm Craig Magrum, host of the podcast, and welcome to it. And with me, as always, our co-host and Spiro founder and owner, Todd Kivimaki. Todd, it's been a good week. It's been a good, productive week this week.
It sure has, Craig. Welcome, everybody. We record on Fridays. I know it's probably the beginning of the week for you, so hopefully you had a great weekend out there. We just want to thank you for tuning in to us. We know that you are busy and your time is valuable, and we want to thank you for being with us. It's great to hear from so many of you. If you would like to reach out to us, if you have a question, if you want us to answer something on the podcast, we might not know. We'll find an expert. You can email us, hello@spiro.media. Also, Spiro, it is a software platform geared to run and manage your real estate business. And it is really a full-featured platform. It's everything from your order pages through delivery, with the ability to help you upsell, to sell more in bundles, to sell to brokerages. Also, task and workflows. I just created a couple of training series for task and workflows. Incredible power, incredible workflows to manage all of your tasks every day. At WOW, our real estate media company, we shoot about 12,000 listings a year. Along with those listings, there's multiple services on every job. Each service has multiple tasks that need completed. Right. Edit the photos, look over the photos, deliver the photos, shoot the video, edit, QC, so on and so forth. Spiro will manage all of that for you. It will let your editors know. It integrates with your editors. Automatically will send them files. Will integrate with Dropbox. So there is a ton of efficiency that can be built in and can free you up to do the things that you need to do in order to grow your business. So if you would like to see the software in action, demos online, spiro.media. If you want to chat with me, if you want to do a demo, or if you just want to jump right in, you can fill out the form on the website. Again, that is spiro.media.
Yep, good deal. It's, you mentioned, Todd, that, WOW does 12,000 shoots a year. When I had my real estate media business, I wasn't doing 12,000 shoots a year. At my top, I did about 1,000 shoots a year, but was beta testing the early version of the software before it even had a name. And it worked beautifully for a small business, a small local, one market type of business as well. So you might be just a sole proprietor, a sole photographer. It's going to work well for you. It's going to work for a regional company as well.
Yeah, thank you for mentioning that, Craig. So big or small, if you're out there and you want to know how you can get back more time and sell more to your clients and target brokers, reach out to me. I'd love to talk to you about it.
Absolutely.
Craig, we've got another exciting announcement here coming that's coming up in the near future. You and I were there last year. So right. For those of you that have never been to, or if you're looking to continue to educate yourself on the business of real estate media, there is an amazing conference. It's called PMRE, and it happens every year in Las Vegas in November. That is coming up this November, and we're going to be back again. So I will see you there. You can find out more information at pmreconference.com. A few notes here. So Brandon, the owner of the conference, he does a beautiful job, sent me a few things, a few bullet points last night. They sold out their early bird tickets in just 14 minutes. So that was exciting. They're about 50%. 14 minutes, Craig. Yes.
That's amazing.
So that early bird was sold out in 14 minutes, and they're 50% sold out. So it is only June. So if you're thinking about going, visit the website. If you have a specific question, reach out to Brandon, or I'd be happy. We've been there. We know what it's like to be there. I'd be happy to answer any questions. We've got a discount code for you. So I was like, Brandon, you have to save our listeners some money. He was happy to do so. So if you would like that discount code, reach out to me and I will send it to you. You can get me at hello@spiro.media, but it'll take $50 off of your ticket. They are booking new presenters they're announcing new presenters every few weeks. There's 2 free luncheons. So what's better than that? You go there, 2 free luncheons. They have activities and events in the evening. So, it's already Las Vegas. There's a ton to do there. You might not be, the Las Vegas type. Craig and I are probably the furthest away from, yeah, Craig's raising his hand right now for those of you that are listening to us. I don't, yeah, and neither am I, but we had a blast. There's a ton to do out there. So it's like, hey, if I don't gamble, I don't drink, whatever it may be. There is a ton to do out there. And the biggest takeaway for me is that you get to connect with community members, people that are like you in the trenches every day doing what you're doing. So that is super exciting and worth the price of admission alone.
Yeah. And if you can stay a few extra days, see some of the sites around. I know this might be nerdy and boring to some, but man, go over to the Hoover Dam, if nothing else. It is. Have you ever been there, Todd, to see that?
I have not been there. I've heard it's amazing, but I haven't been there.
The engineering that goes into that or went into that is just breathtaking. We went there when I was in high school and walked through the power plant part of it as well. Looked down, it's like, it's amazing. So if you can spend a few extra days, do that, taking some shows. Yeah, PM Murray is a great event. Check it out. All right, Todd. So yesterday I had a couple of shoots that I was doing, and at the end of my day, I had a chiropractor appointment at the end of the day, and I was literally 5 minutes from their office, and called a little bit early and said, "Hey, can I sneak in early? I'd hate to go back to back home and then come back." And they're like, "Yeah, come on in." But you mentioned you just had an interesting experience with your chiropractor and trying to set up an appointment or something.
Yeah, Craig, this is so funny that we both have a chiropractor story on the same day. So bear with me all out there. I do have a point to this, and I think there's a really important thing to learn from this story. Now, I visit a chiropractor, and my chiropractor that I have gone to for a couple of years has kind of raised prices to a point that I was just price sensitive. And I'm like, you know what? I can't do this every year. And it just got to be the point that although I liked him, I was price sensitive. And I was like, it doesn't sit right with me. So I began looking for another chiropractor. And I booked a new chiropractor the other day. And of course, I go online and I first ask friends and family who they use, get a few requests or a few suggestions. Then I go online and I'll read some Google reviews. I'll look at websites. I'll see kind of what they're all about. And I noticed that this particular chiropractor, you could book online. So again, I'll just stop right there. Like taking yourself through the buying process, our realtors do that same thing. So they have a listing. They ask in the office, hey, who do you use for your listing media? They might remember a few names. They'll go over to their search engine. They'll search for real estate media in your city. They'll look at a few Google reviews. They'll look at some websites and some photos. And then they'll either call you or they'll book online. Now, some of it depends on your demographic. I just prefer to book online. I came in early. I was online prior to when the office opened. And I was like, hey, this is great. There's a booking tool. I can select exactly what I want. There's a time that works for me. And so I chose to do so online. Your realtors are doing the same thing. And you guys do this all day, every day. If you buy on if you buy on Amazon or any other merchant out there, you're doing the same thing. So I think it's important. This process really made me realize and think about the client journey of our realtors at WOW, our real estate media company. Okay, so I booked the appointment online. I book it 2 or 3 days before I'm going to go in there. It's an 8 a.m. appointment. I'm like, great. It's going to be 10 minutes or 15 minutes and I'll be out of there. So morning of, I drive to the office and I park my car, get in, I go. I find I finally find the building. It's inside of a larger building with many offices. So I find the chiropractor office and I go to walk up to the door. So I look in the door, the little window, and I notice it's kind of dark. And I go to grab the door handle and it's locked. And it's 5 till 8. So I'm like, okay, well, my appointment's at 8 a.m. It's 5 till. And I'm kind of like looking around and there's other people in the building. Other offices are functioning right now. And I hear a door open behind me. It's a stairwell door. Someone quickly walks in. They kind of take a step in front of me. They unlock the door. They push the door open. They semi-hold it for me and they walk in. So I'm a little stunned at this point. Then I walk in. I'm like, okay, well, this is it. So I'm in the office. She flips the lights on. She has not said anything to me yet. And she goes behind inside the employee door and she's back in the office. She's got her bag of food, coffee, starting the day. So I'm kind of just standing there and I'm kind of just taking this all in. And remember, this is an office that's going to adjust my spine. Like I'm kind of thinking like, okay, like, am I going to walk out paralyzed? So I stand there about a minute and I see that there's a clipboard on the counter. So I go to walk over and I was like, okay, well, I'll sign in. This is pretty clear. No one said anything to me, but I graduated from college. I have a little bit of knowledge and there's a sign up board. Let me put my name on it. So I walk over. At about that point, I hear the door open again. Another individual walks in and she goes behind the employee door and is now talking to the first individual that walked in. And I'm signing in and she's talking about how she just woke up, 20 minutes ago at 7:40. It's just a little bit after 8 a.m. now. And she's like, good thing I live close. And I'm just like taking this all in. Still, no one has said anything to me. They are carrying on a very, good conversation about the mornings and where they live. And one forgot their breakfast. Of course, the person who just got up 20 minutes ago forgot their breakfast. So I have my mouth shut at this point. And for those of you that know me, it's difficult to keep my mouth shut. Like I wanted to say like, hey, if you'd actually get up more than 20 minutes before you had to be like working, you probably wouldn't forget your breakfast. I'm not judging at this point. So I go sit down and I just wait. The second girl comes out. I'm like, okay, she's going to say something. Doesn't say anything. She's got a remote in her hand. She is turning on the TV in the office. So she goes to, I think they were streaming from Amazon Prime, and she's kind of talking to herself, kind of talking to the girl in the back. And she turns on Andy Griffith, and she is beginning to say the first parts of every episode about the Andy Griffith. She's saying the opening title out loud. And she has this blaring as loud as like, this thing is so loud, the TV. So again, nobody said anything to me and I'm sitting there. So now Andy's on the TV and it's blaring. And I now can only hear muffled conversations. So I'm realizing that because their conversations are so loud and that they turn on the Andy Griffith show really loud, it kind of drowns everybody else out. So I'm just taking this all in. And so I'm sitting there. Probably about 3 minutes later, I hear someone call out, have you ever been here before? And I assume because I'm the only one in the office that they're talking to me. And I said, no, I've never been here. She's like, well, you need to fill out paperwork. Okay, so I go, she hands me a clipboard again. I'm not even greeted at this point. Nothing about the office, nothing about what's going to happen. She pauses her conversation with her coworker briefly to look over and hand me the clipboard and tells me to fill it out, and then continues the conversation as I'm standing there. I walk back, fill out, the front and back. And I think you all can kind of know how this story is going to continue. So I give the paperwork back. Again, when I'm done with the paperwork, she pauses her conversation long enough to look over and take the clipboard off the counter. I think she says something to me about payment, but I don't know if she's talking to me. It wasn't really directed at me. So I go sit down. Well, they wanted me to pay at that point. And so the other girl, I go to sit down, like, okay, let's see what they're going to say. About a minute later, the other girl says, "You can pay now," like yells out through the little window. I'm like, do I pay before I'm done? She's like, "Yeah, you need to pay now." So I'm going along with this, Craig. It's 8:10. I'm not trying. I'm just like 8:10. Let me get this done so I can get back to the office and get done with my day. So at that point, I go up and pay, and I sit in the waiting room for about another 5 minutes. It's about quarter after, and she comes out and she's like, "Wait, I'm going to take you back now." So she sits me in the office of the doctor. And like I'm in his office, but there's an adjustment table. It's kind of a wreck, but nothing seems out of order from what I'm used to in the office. Now in his office, this doctor's got two young girls, two daughters, and he's probably has 50 pictures of them over his entire office. Not only in the office, but they're in the waiting room, and they're very large in the waiting room. They're probably 2 feet by 3 feet. And there's school pictures, like 8x10s, just placed in and taped up everywhere. And now I have kids. I love my kids. Craig, I know you do too. But
Sure,
it's like, I'm not joking you. There was probably 50 pictures of his girls throughout the entire office, just not his personal office, which is the workroom where he adjusts people. So I'm just taking this all in. So I sit in his office for 5 minutes, and door opens up again, and the individual who just woke up about 40 minutes ago comes back, and she's like, "Hey, change of plans." He's waiting on his mother to pick up his girls. We're going to do therapy first. So I'm like, okay. So she's like, "We're going to go in this other room." So I get up, and I'm like, "Okay, well, how long is he going to be?" And she's like, "Well, he just lives right down the road."
Oh my gosh.
And clearly, like, I know this girl's excuse now, like, because she lives right down the road. She just wastes 20 minutes. So anyways, long story short, I'm like, I understand. Like, I know you're covering for him. I'm like, I've never been here before. You're going to start with therapy. Like, when I see the doctor first before I do therapy, she's like, "Oh, well, sometimes we do therapy." I'm like, "Well, you're not doing therapy on me today." I'm like, I just can't do business like this. Like, I'm going to leave. So she's like, okay, she's not fighting me at this point. She doesn't care. She doesn't care anything about customers or keeping customers at this office. So she hands me $25. She tells me to have a blessed day, and then she continues our conversation on with her other coworker.
Wow.
So, so I'm letting this all process, Craig, and I'm driving back to the office, and now it's I've wasted the first 45 minutes of my day. And it really made me think about our business and the business that we're in. Now, let me remind you guys. So this is a doctor. Like, he's a chiropractor is a doctor. They go to school for, I don't know, 9 years. I mean, they're licensed doctors. This is in the office building to our largest hospital in town. This is an individual that's going to adjust your spine, neck. Like, you could walk out there paralyzed if he does something wrong. And I was looking for a new place to go consistently for the rest of my life. So it really just made me connect and think about the type of customer service we get. And I think in today, post-COVID, that there's this acceptance of bad service, and people are becoming a little bit immune to it. And people are beginning to just say, "Oh, it's tough to get people." I would encourage you to take all of those thoughts and to extinguish and to burn all of them, because it's not true. It's just simply is bad for your business, and you really need to think about your customer journey. So Craig, let me ask you a question. So you had you had the same type of appointment that I had. Mine went one way. You happened to call in, you had a need. They accommodated your need. Like, what does that do from your standpoint, just as a client of theirs?
I tell you what, it made me feel really good, and I was surprised because I didn't have an expectation that they would make that allowance for me to get in early. But the fact that they did, and they were very friendly about it, they're like, "Oh yeah, no problem. If there's a line, go ahead and scan in, go ahead and wait in line. But if the room is open, because our chiropractic office has a light system to show, what exam rooms are open, and if one's open, you go back, you flip the switch to show that it's occupied, and you get ready for your adjustment. So it's a very smooth, efficient, very efficient process that they have at my chiropractor. And they made it convenient. They made it welcoming. Like, hey, this is not a problem. We're going to take care of you. Yeah, come on in. From the very get-go of my experience with this chiropractor, they set up a what's the word I'm looking for? An orientation to explain what chiropractic care is, their method. It was a group setting. You set up an appointment to come to this orientation. They schedule your first exam, basically, where they do all the measurements. They explained everything. I mean, they have a very good system and very friendly, very customer oriented at my chiropractor. And we didn't talk about this before the podcast. I mean, it's night and day difference, the experience you had and the experience I had. Now, price is a little bit of an issue. I'm kind of struggling with that as well. But because of how good they take care of me, I haven't left yet. And I don't know that I'm going to, because it's just such a good experience and quick, efficient, and very customer focused.
Yeah. That's a great point, Craig. And I think it's something that all of you listeners out there need to really go through. So my question to you is, do you know, and are you confident in your customer journey? That's the big question today, is from the beginning to the end, do you know what your customers are experiencing? And are there any kinks in it that you could make better for them?
Right. Man, what a great parable that you just shared, Todd. I did wonder where this was going.
Yeah, it was quite a journey, and thanks for sticking in there with me. So a couple of some actionable things. So what I would suggest that you do is you should reenact the customer experience from start to finish. So go onto your order page. Hopefully you have online booking and automatic scheduling. How is that experience? Maybe have a friend of yours or have somebody that doesn't know anything about how to place an order actually place an order. Is it clear to them? Do they know what the order is? Does your order page help educate a client? Does it give product descriptions? Do you have proper photos on there, or do you have a video description? Just what is your customer journey with the entire process? You can get this from your own. You can have a friend do it. Also, another thing that you can do, and this sometimes seems to be like a forgotten art. I'm on quite a few Facebook forums here and there, or Facebook pages. So you can tell my age because I call them forums. I grew up with forums, so right. Facebook groups, and there'll be a question that's asked, and I love that people ask questions. But they'll ask a question about, what do you think this client is thinking, or do you think it's correct, or do you think they thought the photo should be darker? I think they should be brighter. Or how do you think I should handle this text message situation? And they'll post a screenshot of 3 text messages back and forth between a client. And again, there's nothing wrong with getting an opinion about how you think you should proceed. But every time, if you're in that situation, you should just call the agent. Like if an agent's like, hey, I think it should be brighter and you think it should be darker, or vice versa. Or if you've sent 5 or 10 or 20 text messages back and forth, and you have a client that is needing something and not 100% satisfied, just call them. It is honestly that simple. Just pick up the phone and say, hey, I thought we would just connect over the phone. I know we've sent a few emails. I know we've sent a few text messages back and forth, but I want to make sure that you're taken care of. And I want to make sure that I heard it communicated from you so that I can take care of you.
That's a great way to approach it because, yeah, again, you're focusing on the customer and making sure that they know that you want to care for them. I think the reason a lot of people don't pick up the phone, Todd, though, is a lot of people are afraid of potential confrontation. You don't want that confrontation. It scares you. You don't want to lose the customer. But if you couch it in terms of, hey, I want to take care of you the best I can, and maybe it's a difference of opinion on whether it should be lighter or darker, and you just approach it, here's my thoughts on why I think it should be a brighter picture, and you give the photographer's explanation and the marketing reason, and say, what do you think about that? Leave it open-ended. You're not shutting them down. You're leaving it open-ended to have a discussion and help them, help provide some education, and then let them make that decision. It de-escalates the whole thing, and it serves them and it serves them well.
It does, and that's a great way to take it, Craig. And sometimes you just need to voice that to them. They need to hear that. I mean, you have to remember when you have an unhappy client, they are in an emotional state, so they are running on emotion right then. So you have to let them know that their emotions are important to you, but then you have to get past emotions and you have to get over to facts. So it's tough to switch the brain from that emotional to facts. One thing, like you said, Craig, that I find very beneficial in those conversations is I just tell them, hey, I want to help you. I will do everything I can to help you with this. I want to make sure that you're taken care of and that your clients are happy. What's somebody going to argue with that? Like, no, I don't want you. Like, that de-escalates a situation very quickly, and then find them a solution, get them back into factual mode, get them out of the emotion of it, keep them factual, understand what they need to do, then communicate it back to them. Say, okay, I understand that you think photo number 30 is too bright. Your clients are saying, really in real life, your clients have a darker paint color in there. So what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to open up all of the images of the living room that start with image 30, and I'm going to darken that down a little bit for you. Now, if I do that for you, is everything going to be great? Or is there anything else you would like me to tweak? Get confirmation from them that that is what they want so that you can handle their complaint or their concern in one swift move. Then you tell them when to expect it from you. So if I do all those things, I can look at it and is it acceptable if I get these images back to you by noon today? They're going to say yes or no. Go to work, put it on your calendar, and make sure you get it done by 11:50 or 11:45. Don't go right up to noon. And then send it to them and call them back. Hey, I just delivered those images. I darkened them down. I think they look great. I really hope your client's happy. It's 10 till. I'm happy I could get them to you before noon. Please take a look over them and let me know if there's any other way I can serve you. Those are just some simple things of just reaching out to someone, making sure that they know that their feelings are important to you, and then just come up with a plan of how you're going to solve them.
That's all great advice, Todd. What about the situation? I've run into this in talking with our current clients that have worked with other companies in the past or other photographers that will tell me, what their complaints were about those companies. And yeah, they delivered this and it wasn't any good. And I just, that's why I've called you. And I've asked the question before, just because I want them to think about it. And I want to set myself up to be able to handle any potential future issues that they might have, say, with us. Maybe something's not quite right. But I asked them, I said, did you call your photographer or your company and ask them if they could fix something? And 9 times out of 10, I've gotten the response, no, actually I didn't. And so what I tell them at that point is, okay, in the future, if for some reason in shooting for you, in doing your visual media, we deliver something that's not up to what you expected or your client's not happy with it, please call me or reach out to me, because our number one value is our client, is caring for our clients. So we want to make sure that you're happy in every situation, but we need to know that we need to know if there's an issue so that we can address it and take care of you. That's our value. That's what's important to us. And I just want to let you know that up front. So the way I've always handled it right from the beginning is to try and set expectations, because at some point, everybody drops a ball at some point, right? So I try and set that expectation. Mm-hmm. But what are some other ways, Todd, that we can care for our clients if they don't think about telling us what they have an issue with?
Yeah, I'll answer that, Craig. I just want to say kudos to you. That's a great way to set those expectations. So for those of you that are not doing that right now, please steal that from Craig and tell your clients that, because when you tell your clients that, something subconsciously happens to where they now feel as though, you've set expectations that if something happens, that we're going to take care of you. So they know what to do. They're just not going to go find another photographer. So I think that's very smart, Craig. It's great to tell them, hey, I'm here for you. You're going to love it most of the time. We're not perfect. I'm not claiming we are, but we're really good at fixing things. And we want to make sure you're happy and your client's happy. So please reach out to me. I love that, Craig. So your question to me was, okay, so what if they don't do that? So some aren't going to do that. Some just are going to go, and not pick up the phone and call you. Well, you should be proactive with collecting data, surveys, getting feedback from your clients. So a very simple thing that is free to use, and there's many other platforms out there that will do this, but a Google form, just create a simple survey and ask them just a couple questions about their experience. We have found that in a survey that we send out after the order is delivered, we send out a survey there and we just ask them a few questions. We asked them 3, how was the service on site from the photographer? Were they happy with the delivered media? Then we give them a box, is there anything that we could do better to serve you? And some of them just want to use that form. And I can tell you that we've gotten unhappy people over the years that have used that form, and we reach out to them and then we make it better. And I can tell you that they appreciate us reaching out. They might not have wanted to initiate it with a phone call, or maybe they're busy. Maybe it's 11 p.m. at night and they're getting caught up and they have feedback for you, but they can't call you right now. That's when an online form is very important and it serves them. And then you can call them back the next day. Now, one thing about it is I would suggest is if this is going out to your realtors, I would suggest that you require them to give you their name. You can look up their contact information, but if someone sends it in anonymously, it's tough for you to help that client. If it's anonymous, maybe a few more people will leave comments, but then at that point, who is it? Is it Joe Schmo halfway across the world? Is this person real realtor? Is it my competition leaving me an angry comment? So I would suggest that you require them to leave a name so that you can reach out to them. But put a simple form together. You should have a form that goes out with every order. You should have think about a quarterly or a biannual form that goes out that has more in-depth questions. So we do this once or twice a year. It has about 10 questions on it. And we ask questions all the way from the ordering process through the quality of the media, but then the client journey, what we could do better. Pricing is, we ask them about how much of a value, where do they feel there's value at with the pricing? So we ask them all types of different questions, and they change every year based on what we're trying to do in the next year. So a couple of simple surveys that go out to them, their email, put them together in an email list, send it out to them. And not everybody's going to use it, but enough people will use it that you'll be able to get some really good collective data on what ways to move in your company.
Yeah, good stuff. And I think customers really value, if they have the time to fill out a survey, they value the fact that you're asking and want to improve. earlier this week, I think it was Monday during our business development specialist meeting. Pam, who is on our team, shared a story, and I don't remember the details, Todd, but basically it was she shared an idea to make things better. We implemented a plan to address that idea. And I think Pam got back with that client to let them know, hey, great idea. Thank you for sharing that with us. We've done this to address that. And the agent was ecstatic. Like, wow, you actually took an idea. You did something. So if you do those surveys and you get this feedback and you act on it, let your clients know that, hey, based on your feedback, we've done this. That just deepens the relationship with them even more and helps them understand, hey, this company actually really does care. They're not just asking empty questions. If you're going to ask the questions, act on the answers.
Yeah, for sure. And then that just confirms and gets that person into even more of a raving fan for you. If you haven't read the book, The Raving Fan, that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to turn your clients into raving fans for you, because raving fans will refer you. They will get you more business. They will be, a cheerleader for you. They won't complain about price. They won't look for, they won't go to the competitor when they do it for $5 cheaper. So you want to get these people closer to you. And again, we kind of concluded this every podcast, Craig, but it's through the relationships that you make. These are the relationships that are going to keep you with your clients. Zillow's not doing this. We talked about Zillow in last podcast. It was like, what's Zillow doing with these brokerage deals? Well, Zillow's not going to reach out and say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Realtor, is there a way I can serve you better? I'm following up to make sure you are happy. So they say the fortune's in the follow-up. You might say, oh, Todd, I really don't love the call. Like I'm a little bit of an introvert. And what if the person's unhappy? I don't know what to do. I said, just call. If you want to schedule some with me, let's go. We can do some role playing on it. I'll act like an unhappy client, and then we can talk about how ways you can deflect it. Craig gave you some good examples. I gave you a couple good examples. It's really not that scary. Once you do it once or twice, you figure out a way, you figure out your pattern and your verbiage, and it feels so good when you take care of that client. So the payoff is really big. If you can get yourself over the hurdle of thinking it's scary to make calls, the payoff is awesome, and your clients appreciate it, and your business is going to grow.
Let me address real quick. You mentioned introverts and not wanting to make the call. I'm an introvert, so I get that feeling exactly. But just as you said, if you resolve an issue for a client and you get that positive reaction, wow, thank you for taking care of that. Introverts I'm going to say this as a generalization, but we value deeper, more meaningful relationships versus, a lot of friends and shallow relationships. So I would encourage you, if you're an introvert, get over that initial fear of making the call and build the deeper, more meaningful relationship with the client by showing them that you care, and realize that when they have that positive reaction that, wow, they actually did take care of me, that relationship goes deeper, and we get fulfillment as introverts out of that deeper relationship. We're getting a little bit into some psychology here, Todd, but I know when I'm able to serve somebody and they feel valued, they will reciprocate and feed back into that relationship. And now I've got not just a client, but a potential business friend and personal friend as well. A lot of my clients up here in the Toledo market have become friends. I'm Facebook friends with them, things like that. But that's the payoff for the introvert that might be initially nervous about picking up the phone to call. Just know what your end goal is in serving a person, and realize that as an introvert, we value those deeper relationships. Okay, I'm done pontificating now.
No, that's great, Craig. So for those of you out there that are listening, do you have any thoughts, anything that works for you? We'd love to hear from you. We'll share it in the next podcast. Do you have a success story of hey, I was scared to call and I called and look at what this client did for me? So we would love to hear from you. Let's keep the conversation going. You can get us at hello@spiro.media. If you are on YouTube right now, just leave us a comment below. And like I said, let's keep the conversation going. We all learn from each other.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And again, if you have content ideas or business questions that you want to see addressed in this podcast, email us hello@spiro.media. Well, Todd, what a great topic. Just caring for our customers. You shared a parable.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to call it a parable in customer service. And just some really good information there. So thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, my pleasure.
All right. Well, those of you listening or watching, thank you so much for, again, taking time out of a busy summer, probably when you're watching this. If you're watching it on YouTube, don't forget, you can always listen to the audio podcast on any of the major audio platforms. You can download and subscribe to that. And conversely, if you're listening, but you have some time, you want to watch it, check it out on YouTube. It's at Spiro Podcast. As always, we just always encourage you to take a moment to just appreciate and meditate on the blessings in your life, and take a breath. Have a great week.
Thank you for joining us for the Spiro Podcast, Managing Your Real Estate Photography and Videography Business. This is a production of Spiro and Wow Video Tours. You can find out more about Spiro's real estate media business management software at our website, spiro.media.